Welcome to the Hare root cause theory training. This video addresses the time trap and how negative growth sentences America's readers to centuries of failure. This is Module 1, New Mexico's Reading Crisis in Numbers. We will be understanding the data that defines the problem. Our learning objectives for this module are to define NAEP and its role in measuring reading achievement, interpret Grade 4 reading scores, calculate effect sizes from longitudinal NAEP data, and describe Albuquerque's 15-year reading trajectory. What is NAEP? The National Assessment of Educational Progress is the nation's report card, administered every 2 years to assess reading and math at grades 4, 8, and 12, offering a comparison across all 50 states. TUDA, or the Trial Urban District Assessment, is a voluntary NAEP component. It allows urban districts to report results separately, enabling city-level comparisons. Albuquerque Public Schools is a TUDA participant, providing crucial longitudinal data for our effect size calculations. The NAEP scale ranges from 0 to 500. The proficiency threshold is 238, which is the target for all Hare calculations. This score delineates students who are proficient or advanced from those who are basic or below basic. NAEP achievement levels define what students know and can do. Below basic means a student cannot demonstrate even partial mastery of fundamental reading skills. Proficient indicates solid academic performance and competency over challenging subject matter. The 2024 NAEP results show a critical situation. New Mexico ranked dead last among all 50 states, DC, and DoD schools in every NAEP category, including 4th and 8th grade reading and math. New Mexico hit a historic low in 2024 with a grade 4 reading score of 201. This is the lowest ever recorded for the state, creating a 13-point gap below the national average of 214. Comparing New Mexico's grade 4 reading score of 201 to the national average of 214 highlights the significant 13-point deficit. This data is from the 2024 NAEP TUDA results. New Mexico's proficiency rate is 20% at or above proficient, compared to the national rate of 31%. This means only 1 in 5 New Mexico 4th graders can read at grade level. New Mexico faces a severe below basic crisis, with 53% of 4th graders scoring below basic. This is the highest level since 1998, indicating that more than half of all students lack fundamental reading skills. Students scoring below basic on NAEP grade 4 reading cannot identify the main idea, make simple inferences, or locate relevant information. This represents fundamental deficits in reading comprehension. The proficiency threshold, a NAEP grade 4 reading cut score of 238, is the target for all Hare calculations. This target is set by the National Center for Education Statistics, or NCES. Albuquerque Public Schools, the largest district in New Mexico, has been a TUDA participant since 2009. In the 2024 NAEP results, APS ranked last among all TUDA districts on every single measure. Let's examine the APS grade 4 reading trajectory. Scores have consistently declined across 7 assessment cycles from 2011 to 2024. They dropped 8 scale points, going from 209 to 201. Looking at the decline in detail, the scores decreased from 209 in 2011 to 201 in 2024. This is an 8-point loss over 15 years, confirming an active decline, not stagnation. Visualizing the decline shows the consistent drop in scores. Crucially, all scores are far below the proficiency threshold of 238, indicating a significant and sustained underperformance. A key concept for our analysis is standard deviation. It measures how spread out scores are around the mean. In education research, the standard deviation normalizes raw score changes. For APS, the standard deviation is 1.32 over the study period. Effect size, or Cohen's d, standardizes raw score changes by dividing them by the standard deviation. A change of 0.20 is small, 0.50 is medium, and 0.80 is a large transformative effect. To calculate the APS effect size, we first find the score change. 201 minus 209 equals -8 scale points. Using the standard deviation of 1.32, the cumulative effect size is -0.71 sigma. What does a -0.71 sigma mean? Typical annual growth is plus 0.25 sigma. Albuquerque's actual performance of -0.71 sigma is an active retreat, not stagnation. Now let's look at the gap to proficiency. The current score of 201 is 37 scale points below the proficiency target of 238. Converting this gap to standard deviations, we calculate the gap to proficiency, or G2P. The score gap of 37 points divided by the standard deviation of 1.32 results in a G2P of 27.84 sigma. The gap to proficiency of 27.84 sigma is an enormous deficit. To close this gap with a normal growth rate of 0.25 sigma per year would require 2 years. Experts agree that this issue predates the pandemic. As stated by Education Next, the years-long downward trajectory implies problems that COVID-era solutions alone will not solve. NAEP Commissioner Peggy Carr echoes this concern, stating this crisis cannot be blamed solely on the pandemic. Our nation faces complex challenges in reading. This crisis extends beyond New Mexico, representing a national pattern. Any district with growth below 0.025 sigma per cycle faces the same mathematical impossibility of reaching proficiency in a human timeframe. Other states with subthreshold growth in grade 4 reading include Michigan, Texas, California, and Arizona. The fact that even the national average declined indicates this reading crisis is systemic. The decline preceded COVID. Scores fell from 209 to 208 before the pandemic, with an accelerated drop from 208 to 201 afterwards. This shows a deep-seated structural decline. Let's examine the pattern of decline. Pre-pandemic, from 2011 to 2019, scores saw a net decline of 1 point. Post-pandemic, from 2019 to 2024, the decline accelerated with 7 points of additional loss. Here are 5 key facts summarizing the data. New Mexico is dead last in every NAEP category. The grade 4 reading score is 201, the lowest ever recorded. 53% of students score below basic. The effect size is negative 0.71 sigma, showing active retreat. The gap to proficiency is 27.84 sigma, requiring over a century of normal growth to close. Let's practice calculating the gap to proficiency. Given a current score of 210, a target of 238, and a standard deviation of 1.5, the score gap is 28 points. Dividing 28 by 1.5 gives a gap to proficiency of 18.67 sigma. Consider this discussion point. If a district has been declining for 15 years, is the problem the students, the curriculum, the system, or something else entirely? This framework guides the Hare-Hale theory. We have covered several key vocabulary terms in this module, including NAEP, TUDA, scale score, proficiency threshold, standard deviation, effect size, and gap to proficiency. All data in this video comes from verified, publicly available federal sources, the NAEP Data Explorer, NCES publications, and TUDA reports. Every number can be confirmed. Let's apply critical thinking. What could cause 15 consecutive years of decline? We can categorize factors into structural, pedagogical, and policy-related issues. Albuquerque Public Schools, APS, ranks last among all trial urban district assessment, or TUDA, districts on every reading measure in the 2024 NAEP Grade 4 results. The human cost of a 201 score means the average 4th grader cannot read grade-level text. The gap is not closing, it is growing every assessment cycle. Behind every data point is a child who deserves to read. To review Module 1, the NAEP Grade 4 reading proficiency threshold is 238. Albuquerque's 2024 Grade 4 reading effect size is negative 0.71 sigma. APS is 27.84 sigma below proficiency. Proceed to Module 2, the Hare-Hale temporal scale.